The innkeeper had no space in his inn. The shepherds had no gifts for baby Jesus. This doesn't make the innkeeper a bad person or the shepherds unwelcome at the familiar manger scene. They simply just didn't have all that much, could only offer a stall as a place to stay, their presence as an act of service. The important part of the story isn't what they didn't have, rather the fact that they unhesitatingly gave what they did. It wasn't much, certainly not what we would think would be appropriate for Jesus, but it was enough. This man's inn was utterly full, so he gave the best that he could. It was enough. The shepherds were poor wanderers. Still, they came and offered him their time and praise, and it was enough. God doesn't ask for perfection, not even close. He doesn't give us an expectation and throw us away when we don't measure up. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be all that interested in a God that leaves people behind. But he doesn't ask for the version of ourselves that we present to our parents or our friends or our students or our teachers. He says, come as you are, no matter how little you think you have to offer, no matter how broken or insufficient you feel. There are no expectations, no conditions, no ifs or whens. This is when we are perfect to him, and really when we are perfect to each other, because God is not a solitude. He is loudest when we surround ourselves with people who live a life of love that throws standards and benchmarks to the wind, instead celebrating the great strength that lies in our willingness to show weakness. I remember back in September, it was late on a Thursday night, I had an essay due the next day, and I was pretty much losing it. We've all been there, right? It's rough. When I reached out to some friends for help, most people said it was too late or they're too busy, which was honestly completely understandable. Like for most of us, this is one of the most stressful times of our lives. However, one person took the time to carefully read it over and give me editing tips and suggestions for over an hour. I had expected him to skim it once, make a few grammatical changes, and call it a night, but he put thought and effort into truly making it a better piece. He was just as sleep-deprived as I was, just as overcommitted and busy and stressed, but somehow he found time in his insane schedule and gave me what he could, and in that simple gesture, I saw God. While in Nicaragua and ECJ Central America last summer, a woman in a killer Nicki Minaj shirt opened up her home to me and 4 of my classmates for lunch. We shared the food she had prepared over fresh-cut flowers in a carefully swept dirt floor. She by no means could offer us a fancy dining experience, but she gave us what she had with joy and love, without a trace of hesitation, and I remembered feeling so overwhelmed by her instinctive generosity towards complete strangers. Look, I'm not here today to tell you to go to church every week, or to go to confession, or to pray 12 times a day. I'm here to tell you that whatever you have, wherever you're coming from, offering it to the people around you will allow you to live authentically for and with each other, even if you feel like it's nothing, like what you are or have is insignificant or small. Give it anyways. Embrace the way the people in your life touch you. Learn to recognize love when it's wearing a different outfit or voice or action. Maybe you're angry and hurt and afraid, and you feel that life didn't deal you the best hand. Love anyways. It is from that place of vulnerability and openness that we can crack wide our hearts and allow people and experiences in. This is what makes us human. This is what keeps us moving forward when all else fails. Because guess what? People are going to let us down. We've all been disappointed, left behind, had our hearts broken, but it isn't about never being disappointed or disappointing anyone. It's about being brave enough to love people in spite of this, which, as most of you know, is far from easy. But when we do, when we choose to live a life with forgiveness, acceptance, and joy at what the people around us have to offer, rather than in judgment of how or why they're offering it, we allow a steady and comforting peace to enter our lives. When I read this passage originally, I organized my thoughts through poetry. It's a medium through which I can quiet my mind and take my reflections line by line in a beautifully simple and concise way. The following is the result of my thought processes as I sat with this particular story, and I'd like to share it with you now. All my life, I have counted this world in what I do not have. In the moments I have missed, the sunrises I have slept through. You told me to keep myself sacred, but I'm dyslexic, so I read it as scared. I am so much more than a sum of the things I have not been brave enough to give, grasping for an Eden I cannot see, but am in love with nonetheless, a future I deserve, but do not always believe in. O God of the full inn, O God of the cold winter night, I offer what I have to the singing skies and belief in tomorrow, what I am, what I will be, and although I do not always believe that you will want it, it is yours. Today in the gospel, we heard the angel say, I proclaim to you good news of great joy that will be for all people. Here's what he didn't say. I proclaim to you good news of great joy that will only be for the people who volunteer in the church office and no one else. No. He said, for all people. How many times have we felt as if we were only a little smarter, a little prettier, a little faster? All of our problems would miraculously disappear, and we would be happy, well-liked, wealthy, or successful. But peace does not come when we identify what we want to fix or change. It comes with the quiet openness to people and ideas and the ability to say yes. It doesn't happen overnight, but it doesn't require a miracle either. I promise you, when you say yes to loving those around you without limits or boundaries, people will meet you where you are, but will most certainly not leave you where they found you. Thank you.